back here on Lamberto Bava Theme Week. I am your host, Mood616, and thank you once again for stopping in. Alrighty, so day 5 is upon us, and yeah, I've been really excited to watch this movie. This movie right here came out in 1986, and it's obviously, you know, a very, very late giallo film. It doesn't really have anything on, you know, the 60s and 70s giallos, but, you know, for like a mid-80s giallo, this film, you know, not so bad. And I'm talking about Midnight Killer. Now, this movie doesn't have an official release. This is a bootleg from Revoke.com. They do really, really good job with their bootlegs. Like, this has subtitles and everything. Just, it looks fantastic. Really well done job. And it's the only way to get this. Like I said, there's no official release, so... And I've always wanted to see this movie. It goes by a bunch of different titles. I've always known it as Midnight Killer, though. I think it's also called Midnight Horror. You know, it's an Italian film, so it's got a million different names. So getting into the plot of this one. The movie starts out with a character, Nicola. He's a police officer, and one day he sees his wife in like a clothing store or whatnot. And she's trying on clothes and bras and stuff like that. And he's kind of watching her and stuff. And then he witnesses her cheating on him. So later on, he goes home and he confronts her violently about it. They get into a fucking fight. And she stabs him. He tries to choke her to death. Anyways, he ends up fucking taking off out of there. And going to see the psychoanalyst at the police department. I guess she was like the nearest person to talk to or whatever, and he tells her that he got into a huge fight with his wife, and that he almost killed her and stuff. Then sure enough, the phone rings at her place, and it's the main inspector, police inspector, and he's you know, he phones to tell her that Nicola, his wife, has been brutally murdered. So while he was at her place, his wife was stabbed to death. So now there's an investigation. Of course, he is the main suspect, right? Because, you know, he's a heavy drinker and he doesn't have an alibi. And, you know, he even admitted that he wanted to kill his wife and stuff like that. So now he's on the run and shit like that. So, yeah, and then some more murders start happening. And they start looking into this case. The main inspector starts looking into the case and going, the killings seem to be very familiar to an old killer called the Midnight Killer. It was actually somebody that, you know, the psychoanalyst had, you know, studied and whatnot before, but they're confused because he had been killed in a fire previously, you know, 10 years before or whatnot. So, but the killings were very similar and whatnot. So they keep investigating, and you know what? I'm gonna leave the plot right there. I don't want to go any further because, you know, it's a giallo and there's twists and turns, and even if they are ridiculous, I still don't want to give anything away. So my thoughts on this one. First off, it's starring Paolo Malco. He stars in he's in like a bunch of movies, The New York Ripper, and shit like that. The Case of Two Scorpion Tails. Like he's like in a bunch of movies, a bunch of Italian movies. You really recognize him. But anyways, you know, it's a later giallo film, so you know it's not going to be as good as the older ones. I gotta say though, this movie is really stylistic. Lamberto Bava, you can really tell when he's directing a movie. He's just got some kind of, his direction is very noticeable. You know, he's just very stylistic. There is moments in this film where it's very, very sleazy with what the killer does to a couple of his victims and stuff. But this movie is very driven by awesome shots by Lamberto Bava of the killer. Very stylistic, like I said, but very cool shots, very cool atmosphere. And the soundtrack is done by Claudio Simonetti from Goblin, so that really helps out in the film too. And I gotta say, like, when the killings happen, that fucking score kicks in, and it really does work. And I might also add that if you watch the intros to my videos for this theme week, the song that's playing is actually the theme song from this. That theme song does get better in the movie. Obviously, it's just a short clip in my intro, but that's where it comes from, is Midnight Killer. But yeah, overall, it's, for a later giallo film, it's actually pretty fucking enjoyable. I will admit, I picked out who the killer was right away, just based on dialogue and just, I don't know if it's because I've watched so many of these type of movies in my life that I just kind of picked it out, but, or maybe it was just really obvious, I don't know. But, it doesn't really matter. I thought the movie was fun overall. The killings were, they were basically all kind of knife-driven, ice pick and, kind of slasher-type kills like that. I thought they were pretty vicious. The body count's not overly high, it's not overly low either. It's kind of a midpoint thing. But I really enjoyed it, though. This was a good fucking movie, man. 1986, so this would have been, a year after Demons came out, so... But very stylistic film. Cool soundtrack, cool fucking... really everything. It was just fun. It's not too long. It runs about 85 minutes, and yeah, it's a fun film. If I had to rate this one, I'd probably give it a solid 7... I'd probably give it a solid 7.5. If you're a fan of giallo films and slasher films, this one, and Italian, put all that shit together, this one you might really enjoy. And unfortunately, like I said, this one doesn't have a official release, but you can get it at Revoke.com, I think, still. They're a little pricey there, but, I had to pick up this one because I had this theme week planned for so long, and just sucked that there's no official release, but they do a really good job. I mean, the transfer is probably just like a VHS kind of thing, but it looks way better. It looks like a really, really clean transfer, and there's no audio issues, no visual, issues and stuff. So, but yeah, I don't really know what else to say about this. Giallos can be hard to review because you don't want to say the wrong thing, and I will just leave it at that. But it was very enjoyable. I thought it was great. Very fun film. So yeah, Midnight Killer for day 5. Definitely probably the most exciting film. Well, it was up there. Until Death was really good too. But yeah, so day 5 here on Lamberto Bava Theme Week. I will be back tomorrow with. I'm really excited to watch this one, actually. The film that's coming up tomorrow. So again, along the lines of just being all different type of films, this next one is going to be completely different too than everything else. So, but yeah, Mood616 signing off. Thank you for watching and subscribing. Peace out, homies.